to find out where we'll be actually playing this adversarial match. As you can see, we have two maps that will not be played because they were played by these teams in the previous play day of North America, which is Bank and Clubhouse. And that was a long time ago, but there you go. And then we'll have the bans start rolling out here. For the first time, Villa being banned immediately instead of as the final ban today, so it's already gone. And
we actually saw a fair bit of Villa in DreamHack.
Yeah?
A lot of Villa, actually. A lot more than we've ever seen before in one particular tournament. Though we did see it a little bit at the Paris Major Quals too, or the Paris Major Group Stages. My apologies there. Oregon banned out by Rogue. We'll see what EG and Rogue have up next under their sleeve. Consulate, the map we just saw be played between SK and Obey, will be gone, leaving us with Border versus Coastline. And no surprise, one of our most played maps that has just flourished in terms of its pick rate will be Coastline between both of these teams.
Can't say I'm surprised. And I think it's going to be a good ground for both teams to play against each other. I think Rogue, if I'm looking at this, again, slight edge to them just in the basis of what the roster changes we've been seeing and how quickly they're acclimating to their new players, but also just in general from the playstyle of Rogue. And if we're thinking about Shuttle, and we're thinking about Coastline, it's a fragger-heavy map. It's the sort of map where if you have someone who can get those kills, who are just winning their fights, then it can be really hard to shut them down on an individual level. Sometimes you don't even need to put too much teamwork into it. You can have maybe one person drone for them or no one, and sometimes they'll still make work happen because that's just how Coastline plays out. So I think this is going to be a great map, a good playground for players like Shuttle, and EG going to have to deal with that somehow, though I'm sure this is going to be a close one. I definitely anticipate this going all the way.
And very much an attacker-favored map as well. And we'll see how the operator bans alter that potentially, because, I mean, you expect most teams will win Kitchen as a defense, but, I mean, we also saw over the last weekend a number of teams winning on Penthouse or Hookah, which was a bit of a surprise. But let's bring up the community vote for you so you can see exactly how everybody thinks. I wouldn't be too surprised here, but EG getting the nod just above Rogue, that is very, very close, with the draw getting 8%, 50% in favor of EG. That is interesting, given how I honestly think Rogue dominated EG at DreamHack Montreal. It was not close by any stretch of the imagination, and it's one of the best showings that Rogue has ever had against EG in a single match.
Yeah, you're not alone in that opinion either. I think that definitely I'm with you, right there with you. Evil Geniuses, though, I mean, we're talking about popularity. They're one of the longtime favorites of North America, so this stands to reason. In fact, I thought it was going to be a little bit closer more in EG's favor. All that said, that's just the community vote, so we're going to load in now to the actual match, and we have been seeing some upsets today. Coming off the community vote, of course, we saw Mouse with 15% win out against C9, and we saw a draw in the previous match, which was a little bit slanted in SK's favor. So this one being so close, we might see something crazy happen. Who knows? Glaz, the first ban from Rogue, and I think that's the first time it is the first time we've seen him banned today.
Yeah, that's directly to counter Geo, who's been playing an awful lot of Glaz and being kind of that spearhead of EG on their attacks. So, I mean, with EG starting on attack, Geo will have to go somewhere else. Ying being taken out. That was Slash playing Ying quite reliably. And, of course, Ying is a very powerful operator on most maps, but especially on Clubhouse, because Ying has so many different sites where she can just toss Candelles and walk right in. Following up with Ying will be a Mira ban.
Speaking of Geo, how many times have we seen a roster change, one player going to another team, and then immediately after, just match after match after match between those two teams? This is a big adversarial match, regardless of that. But Geo just coming off a Rogue going to EG, that change, there's a little bit of did you make the right decision kind of discussion that will be displayed in the play between both teams.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, especially after the last matchup between these two, people saying, "Oh, Rogue won the trade there," in regards to who did that. Even though it wasn't actually a trade, the real trade actually happened between Rogue and Space Station Gaming, with Space Station getting Brian in exchange for Shuttle. So it was basically just a 1-for-1 trade there between these teams. That was that is more of a trade than anything. But I think this was an upgrade for Rogue absolutely, whether it was an upgrade for EG, is something that I think we're going to need to wait a little bit longer just to see how they flesh it out. Now, also Pulse being banned means that the Evil Geniuses skin, which is available in the UMP, will not be in play because you're going to have to run a castle in order to see it. But that's also a direct ban towards Mr. Troy Canadian, as he is usually the Pulse player for his team.
On this map, definitely a good call there from Rogue. And the one against Geo, something that they can foresee even before knowing how EG plays, again, because Geo was, again, as we talked about, on Rogue previously. Now, we do see defense of the Billiards Hookah, which is not usually the first sight. It is definitely a good sight, but it's usually seen played later in the match as a bit of a Hail Mary maybe, or just a late adjustment. However, Rogue's going here first. Maybe they're just trying to catch their opponents off guard. Either way, I like their setup. They've got good Evil Eye placement, good amount of control. Castle Barricade's going to be in very useful positions. One interesting thing to me, though, is that they're kind of just forfeiting the aquarium, which is dangerous. It gives your opponents a really easily accessible beachhead, and if their opponents EG read that, they might be able to very easily push in and negate all of these roamers.
Yeah, Hookah saw a bit of a resurgence itself, as a lot of this game is cyclical. So it's you end up with sites not being played an awful lot, and then they'll change off. And for a while, Hookah was a very popular site on Coastline, and then it fell really far out of favor. I think it was only picked like 1 or 2 times, or something along those lines, in comparison to the rest of the sites for the entire season of Season 6, which is an astonishingly low number for a bomb site. Even though Coastline wasn't like the most well-played map at the time. But here we have Hookah showing up, and quite a bit in Montreal. So interestingly enough, it's apparently, maybe it's just the operator bans and the way they work out, that Hookah has become a site that it's easier for the defenders to work with.
So, as discussed earlier, Evil Geniuses have droned out Aquarium, know that it's clear, and they're going to use it to start putting pressure onto the Rogue defense. Now, the main form of hold here for Rogue is, of course, that Evil Eye, and there is a Zofia in play. That's NVK. He's back to his old roles. Well, he's not his old roles. You saw a little bit of, he changed on the operators he was playing just a little bit earlier in Montreal, but he is now back onto Zofia, a very utility-based fragger, and he's going to be able to do a lot of damage to this hold if he manages to get those explosions in the right position. Difficult to aim, though. We did see some misses earlier today of the lifeline onto just exactly that Evil Eyes. So hopefully that doesn't happen for NVK in EG's favor. And they do have Young repelling on the A window. This is a great position for the Blackbeard. He can wreak havoc from this spot if he's just given the opportunity. He's mainly focusing on cutting off rotation, though, not worrying about easily the Maestro, who is sitting by the minibar inside of the Billiards.
And there you go, EE1D, as Execute needs to go underway, but Canadian playing the hard breacher. That is a big change, as you noted, and now the Hibana is out of action. Easily tries to silence his phone, but he'll get caught, and Super's there on the Valkyrie to take out NVK. Easily is down, but not out of action for the time being, so this is Rogue in the driver's seat. BC just waiting inside of, or waiting, holding an angle into luggage, and he's using that C75, sprays a couple shots in, but there'll be nobody there. Geo is the Lion, will take out Eclipse, easily has been picked back up, and BC is just waiting for the push to happen. He'll see a Bulletproof Camera shred right through Shuttle. Oh my, that should not have been an easy kill at all for BC, but he did make it look such. But Slash Super and Easily will get the final 3 for Rogue, and that will be the team going Rogue here, as last man was BC.
A good hold indeed for Rogue. It looked like the trap was an Aqua push. You could see Evil Geniuses, they droned out Aqua. They saw there was no one holding it. They saw a Castle Barricade. They thought to themselves, there's no rotation hole. Let's just take Aqua and make the push happen. And it looked like, yeah, that was the plan for Rogue. They were setting up EG for failure, and very good trap from Rogue, and well held as well. Evil Geniuses, of course, it's hard to read that. You can't really blame them necessarily for reading that giant gap in the defense and the chink of the armor for Rogue and seeing that it's, or not seeing that it's a trap. But then again, as we talked about, these are 2 of the top teams out of North America, and I think that Evil Geniuses needs to have higher expectations of Rogue and be able to adjust based on them. If you know that your opponent's not going to leave something unguarded without a reason, and there's probably a reason why it's unguarded. Just saying.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Yeah, I guess. Now,
Don't just, that was, okay.
What?
You can't just brush off my jokes, Michael.
it was funny, Parker.
Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
I just want your admiration and appreciation.
Well, you have that, Parker.
It's my aspiration for your admiration.
All right, we're done here.
Appreciation. I can alliterate.
We're done here.
Let me alliterate. All right, we'll go over to Penthouse.
Penthouse defense. Rogue, as their second site, will go to... I think this is an interesting site to me. It's not amazing for one reason. It's so practiced. The strategy for taking Penthouse is well versed. Even a multitude of strategies. You don't just have to take from the VIP. You could take from the top of main lobby stairs. You can take from just the window and the drop down. You can take from a great many ways. You can take underneath. You can open up the tons of soft destructible.
You were going to say
floors.
multitude.
I was going to say it again, but I already said it like 3 or 4 times.
I didn't notice.
Did you not notice? Well, there you go.
I don't
Now
know,
you know.
did I?
I think you did. I think you're lying to me.
I would never do that.
But yeah, so there's a lot of options when attacking onto this floor, and specifically Penthouse. So Evil Geniuses is going to have those at their fingertips. Rogue, on the other hand, they were playing very aggressively in the beginning of the round. They've since gotten a lot more passive.
And they'll just check out this diffuser here. BC will pick it all up. And we saw that EG had started to flirt with the idea of doing some role changes after their disappointing results in Atlantic City. And they headed into DreamHack Austin with BC primarily IGLing. They'd moved BC and Necrox onto fragging roles, onto flankers and entry, as well along with NVK. They had Canadian playing on anchor. I think after a disappointing stretch of play, they went back to what they knew. As you said, it's very well played out. And now they've completely shaken things up here. So it'll be I think very cool to watch exactly how this team is able to change things. Rogue also made a couple changes too, and that versatility that was of course added from both Shuttle and Super is so important. Right now you've got Slash playing primarily on site instead of having him roam. A lot of the time, if you remember, they used to have Brian play on site. They would have Slash and Eclipse roam. Not really quite the case, but transitioning back into the action, that's one Evil Eye that's taken down. It also looked like a bulletproof camera was there to try and give some information to Rogue. Slash holding the SMG-11 out at this destroyed soft wall, just daring the Dokkaebi of BC to peek. The mute of Shuttle is found very quickly and Slash down too, so Canadian and Young will pick up double frags for EG, and then with the smokes going down, Easily is going to have to push. No Evil Eye there to see through the haze, so he's just going to lie on his stomach and wait, but there you go. Marks coming out from one of the bulletproof cameras. Geo can see through the smoke. Easily's down. Eclipse is there to get NVK. Plant goes off quite successfully as Geo gets a second kill and will box all of Rogue out. Eclipse is the last one, and he looks all the way towards the end of the hallway. He's playing at L right now. His phone is ringing away. His position given away as well. Trying to retake, and he'll run right into the Blackbeard. Young, a quick trigger finger, and goodbye, Eclipse. EG tie it up.
I gotta say, I'm really happy to see Young back on the Blackbeard. He was, in the past, one of the best Blackbeards in the game. Pardon me. And then when we saw BC join the team, he got shelved on that operator, and BC started to take over the role. And BC was also one of the better Blackbeards in the game. But Young doing well on that role so far in this match, and doing a lot of damage. Now, that attack from Evil Geniuses was about as standard as it comes. It was pushing through the guitar or the trophy hallway, and VIP, though a light emphasis placed on VIP, almost none at all. A simple process of cutting off the rotation from the projector room, or rather the karaoke room, if I'm not mistaken, and into the projector, sorry, into a master. And once that rotation's cut off, you lay down the smoke, you use your Lion, you use your Dokkaebi, you get the plant. And that's another thing. Lion and Dokkaebi both left unbanned. That is so much disruption for the attack whenever they want.
And EG uses both of them. Yep. An awful lot of time. You know, it's always a shame to see BC taken off of the more projectile-based operators, especially seeing him on Buck. Typically will be a beautiful thing to watch in the way that he's able to use the skeleton key as well as the frag grenade. And there are a couple players that have operators that just seem made for them. Pengu on Smoke is a very good example of that. And I think BC on Buck is another one that immediately jumps to mind with his ability to get those frag plays. It always seems like a frag grenade kill is going to come out whenever BC is around on Buck. So
Canadian on Pulse.
Canadian on Pulse, sure, as well. And, you know, I know that whenever NVK plays Ashe, you in particular are very happy with that.
I'm a fan of NVK's Ashe play.
Yeah, I mean, we've only seen it kind of sparingly, but another change that bringing Geo in is it puts Geo on the Lion, and it moves NVK off of it. If you recall, NVK was running Lion on a healthy portion of their strats, and now now you see him playing that Zofia. As you noted again, it's good to see him back on a more frag-oriented role. Rogue will head now down to Kitchen, which is typically seen as the most defendable site for any team on Coastline. You see the evil eye on that reinforcement in place of where a Mira would usually be. We'll call it the poor man's Mira, as you need somebody to be able to communicate exactly what's happening. It's not immediate as if a black mirror would be there from Mira. So we'll see what they're able to use with that, as EG will drone in and look to go for a push through the northern side of the map, which is exactly where Guitar and VIP happen to be.
So as they attempt to clear that top floor, they are wary of a lot of the destruction that's already been made. You can see those holes that were opened up just from Kitchen looking up into VIP. Some potential damage that could be done there. Eclipse is trapped, unbeknownst to him, inside of that room, just waiting for Young to catch him in the crossfire. This could be an easy kill. One DMR shot into Eclipse is going to put him at low HP, and now he's aware of his predicament, and he will reposition. Another kill for Young as Shuttle takes out Canadian, not another, but another shot for Young, resulting in a kill. And it's nice and even. But the big thing here is that Canadian was the hard destructor, the Hibana, now gone. So none of those potential walls that are reinforced will be opened up for Evil Geniuses.
The good news is that Hibana is not absolutely critical on Kitchen, especially depending on the way that you have seen defenses work. A lot of teams on Kitchen will shoot out the entire Kitchen wall looking towards Courtyard, and then you'll usually use Hibana maybe inside a bathroom if need be, but it's very possible to get a plant off if you don't have a Hibana. As you can see, the kitchen walls are largely safe. It's actually been the bathroom wall that's been shot open by the defense, so kind of an inversion here. Slashdog will get NVK as NVK plays a little too close to the sun. That's a great shotgun kill from below. Also, Young will find his target on the Slash, though, as the smoke pushes up onto the window, possibly trying to get away, and Young will pick up his second kill on the round. An EOD will go off at 30 seconds, and Young will now move up and get his third kill. Absolutely on fire right now. This Blackbeard is just roaring right through everyone. He'll go and do some drone work just so his teammates can know exactly what's going on, but it's only Shuttle and Super, the two newest members of Rogue, that are still alive. And Shuttle's position inside a bathroom will be known. Under fire from multiple angles as the phone rings away. He'll challenge the Blackbeard and almost outduel him, but no, it's BC there with the C75 in hand to take out Shuttle. Super on his belly will get BC, but Young, a 4K on the round. Only losing out to BC getting the kill earlier on. EG will take round number 3.
Well, I talked about how Young used to be one of the best Blackbeards in the world, and looks like he's highlighting that for us today as he manages to get that 4K. Well done. He just walked from one point of contact with the site to another and got kills at each and every one of them. So, impressive, to say the least. Now, doesn't look like Rogue has a lot that they can use to counter him. Of course, you know, the strategy against the Blackbeard is just not to peek him, but it's not been working out so well. There were some situations that were really kind of confusing to me, maybe to you as well, where we had players from Rogue out in the open, almost waiting to die. So a little bit odd. We did see that, of course, in a previous match, actually just the one prior, which was SK versus Obey. We saw some situations where SK were just out in the open, seemingly waiting to die. So odd situational advantage, or excuse me, situational awareness. Oh man, today, odd situational awareness for Rogue. They just have seemingly been struggling with knowing where their adversaries are coming from.
Bomb located by attackers.
All right.
Hey man.
I'm the one who's supposed to be jet lagged.
Hey, I'm tired too. Well, I mean, not really.
You're wide awake.
I am wide awake, yeah.
You're wide awake. Sometimes thoughts just escape you. There are days when I wake up, it doesn't matter how much sleep I'll get, there are days when I wake up where it's just like, words just don't
sometimes they just don't.
Sometimes the words just don't.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You could have spent your morning doing yoga.
There also is the hiatus, you know, and
I ran at the sunrise. It was beautiful. I read a bunch of Hallmark cards. I was feeling inspirational, and then words, they just don't happen.
yeah, it does.
Happens.
It does do that way sometimes.
It does do that way. The good news is that we've had 2 entertaining games so far today,
Yeah.
as well as a third one in the midst as round number 4. And EG on attack, winning as you should expect on attack here.
Yeah.
On Kitchen, no less. The defenders should be able to put up more of a bit of a aggressive stance, but that was a quick end for Rogue after the push happened with 30 seconds to go last time. Super came, I guess, a little close to possibly stopping it, but there was just too much coverage from EG in the 1v2 situation where Super wasn't able to come out alive. So just about 1 minute in, and we're going to go back to the Kitchen for EG and Rogue. Canadian probably not going to try to die as early this time around, holding a really mean angle all the way through the hatch down to the main floor and could possibly found a victim if somebody from Rogue wasn't too aware. And there you go. Slash will lose a portion of his health to Canadian.
Not his life, luckily for Rogue. He's going to be able to still do damage downstairs. But Young, really the man of the hour in this match so far, still alive. Slash manages to take out NVK the second time in a row. Slash on NVK, this is the same player, same situation, different position, but still, the damage is done. And the Zofia no longer playing for EG. Geo also able to take out Shuttle, so a quick response from EG.
Geo looking for his revenge after moving over to EG. Of course, didn't have the result that they wanted the other day. Eclipse in BC right now on a collision course here with the Scorpion being able to, so far for the time being, chip away at all of BC's health. But BC is in such a bad spot right now. Slash will open up the hatch, a beautiful play, and then shoot right through it. That is 6,000 IQ.
That communication right there
is exemplary. Canadian, though, off-screen will take out Eclipse, and it'll be 3-3 with a minute to go, so a bit of a faster pace in terms of casualties than the last round, but you've got Young still positioned on this service entrance of the delivery door, and that is as good a spot as he can be. It looks like he'll head over, probably drone out Kitchen, just so he can go towards the Kitchen window. Remember, it was Slash playing that tight angle last time around. He got finished off by the Blackbeard. Whether Young will be able to capitalize here as his drone is shot out. But, of course, that cabinet to the left will stop Young from having the sightline that he wants.
I like how undaunted Slash is of the SMG-11 nerf. He's like, what, they're going to nerf my primary weapon? All right, I'll just use the shotgun instead. Really appreciate that, that he's managed to make that work so well for him. Now Young going to lose one of his shields and a lot of his health at the final 15 seconds as the E1D start coming out. Slash will finally shut down Young. Not able to do any more damage here. Slash has gotten 3 so far in this round, and he could still potentially ace, but easily manages to get the final 2 as they push in through the delivery, and Rogue will take another round.
There you go, defense winning Kitchen, that seems more sensible here. Of course, it was Hookah being won by the defense earlier on, and now Hookah is open again if they want to go back there. I mean, Hookah was open last time around, but I think going to Kitchen a second time was probably the smarter idea for Rogue, especially given the fact that, as we said, Kitchen tends to be the site that gets won by the defenders. But no real focus or want for Rogue to go to Penthouse, as they'll go to Hookah again. Like I said, they started things off with that win on Hookah, basically baiting EG into trying to take Aquarium and then Luggage, and you open up the wall next to it, force EG in, and then you just collapse right on them, and that's exactly what Rogue did. We'll see if they do it a second time around. They're bringing a very similar lineup to what we saw the first time, though I will say this much. There we go. A Valkyrie's actually not a bad pick. The Legion would have been okay. Castle's pretty much a must-have here. But I was a little surprised to see that they're going to go with the Maestro instead of the Echo. I know that they ran the Maestro last time with easily playing by Pink, the deployable shield, but Echo tends to be an operator who gets really good usage here because you can split the 2 Yokais, put one in Luggage, you can have one possibly inside of Aqua, and then you'll put the other inside of the Hookah site and have Echo just play behind that shield where we saw the Maestro easily playing. So you can really sub in one or the other, but I definitely think that Maestro carries more possible fragging potential as well and can negate a smoke push if it happens from EG, which they have been favoring, and that's why they're running the Dokkaebi yet again.
So it looks like they're going to do the same thing they did last time. They're setting up the trap and goading Evil Geniuses into attacking from Aquarium, which is an interesting strategy. I can't imagine it's going to work twice in a row. for Rogue. I think that EG is going to catch wind of this and try to attack from a different area. At least I would hope so, for their sake. But if not, you could see the abundance of utility that is being placed in Billiards will significantly hurt this push from EG if they choose to go to Aqua yet again.
Yeah. So here we go. Canadians still on this hard breaching roll. It was Necrox's traditional role when he would play often. They'd usually keep him on that. I think Canadian, knowing that you can have good fragging potential with Hibana, and EG doesn't really run a Thermite most of the time. I mean, they have had Thermite involved, but he's very map specific for Evil Geniuses. They prefer the Hibana, and I think that's a good choice. I mean, overall, in terms of fragging, the Bearing 9 taking a hit really lessened her impact as a possible second entry after you get her gadgets down, but she still got the Type 89 available, and then she's still a 3-speed, still got a small hitbox.
See you on the other side.
Fast, able to take up ground, whereas
I mean,
Thermite's 5.56 is a good gun, but it's just, I don't know, it's not the same as Hibana's ability to frag.
You could say that Hibana is a fragger heavily augmented with utility, but Geo, definitely a utility operator, able to take out Slash using his LMG. Eclipse goes for a peek outside, but look in the wrong direction and does not catch Young on the rappel, a big window. Still got a lot of potential to do some damage, though, as he has moved his way downstairs. Geo droning for himself in through side entrance, and he has spotted out Eclipse. This could potentially be a kill either way. Eclipse will just choose to fall back deeper into the building, though.
So they took out one of the walls inside of Pink, and as you mentioned, easily has to squeeze now against this tight wall here. That's huge, because that was a change that they could have done the very first time they attacked Hookah Evil Geniuses and would have put so much emphasis on Rogue having to play off-site. It also means that you can dedicate one member of EG to holding that tight angle because you have that numbers advantage right now. And final minute now. Another E1D will go off, and Eclipse with that UMP will manage to outduel the Blackbeard. That's not something you see every single day. Geo will wade through the Sunrise Bar downstairs, easily playing up top in Pink, and goes onto his cam, and Canadian just vaults over the wall and is able to take out easily. So good pick there. That was all Canadian's doing. He opened the wall up, jumps over, gets the kill. Final 30 seconds of the round, and here we go. You can get it literally sounded off by the EE1D, and Canadian will get it yet another kill, this time onto Super. He's doing so well. Geo, who'd gotten the very first kill of the round, finished off by the UMP. Shuttles here possibly to go for two. He'll get one. Swing on a rappel, but no, NVK is there. It's a swing and a miss. Eclipse will have to fight against a diffuser, which goes down, but BC pulls out the C75, and he will conclude the first half. Gets the plant down, and then boom, final kill. Scary straights for Evil Geniuses there, but they exit that first half taking in the advantage in terms of numbers, 3-2.
So Evil Geniuses did it one better than their first attempt on attacking that site. They realized that it was a trap, but before they made their push, they also just picked apart all of the players in the periphery and managed to make that trap be not so dangerous. It did end up making the push in the end actually somewhat more difficult than it should have been, but at the same time, the damage was done. Evil Geniuses had defanged that hold, and the push was quite simple. Well done to them, managing to target the, as I said, the periphery before they actually made their push into the site itself.
And the big change there was just simply that one round of XKROS opening up the wall in Pink, forcing Easily off of the site for about 1 minute and 20 seconds before he went back in, thinking all was safe, but Canadian with Zen-like patience just jumps over the luggage wall, sees Easily sitting on his cam, and then pops him. And that's it. And then that advantage that you already had will grow by 1. So that one change right there paying huge dividends.
So next defense here, and the very first for Evil Geniuses as we move to the second half, will be the double bar. Interesting choice. We have not seen it yet today, but it will be the first one they choose to go to. Now they're looking like they want to do a heavy emphasis on the top floor, so they're going to be putting a lot of castle barricades up there, lots of destruction, lots of utility. They're also extending themselves somewhat, but not too terribly, over towards the kitchen. It's a complicated hold. A lot of different tools being used here. It's Slashug is going to be bringing up the role of Blackbeard. So we will see Blackbeard, regardless of this not being EG on attack right now. And they'll be making their push wholeheartedly into the kitchen. They're faced with the castle barricade. They're going to eventually get that down, I'm sure. But they need to find out what's on the other side first.
This is exactly how you're going to want to use your castle. And I mean, if you look on Rogue's lineup, they've got the Buck, they've got the Hibana, they've got the Zofia. They've got so much that they can do with this. And also, an often underutilized Capitao strat that you see from time to time is to either put a smoke under a castle barricade or to put an asphyxiating bolt under a castle barricade. And would actually be a pretty significant change that we could see as well. A lot of people say that, oh, you should put castle barricades all the way to the bottom. Well, if you did that, that would neuter a lot of Capitao's effectiveness because you can't really telegraph one of those arrows going underneath the barrier. Anywho, take a look at this. EG doing a lot of cam duty right now. 4 members of the team on cams. Young is the only one not currently on a cam, and as I say that, it also looks like the Jaeger will get off. Canadians takes quite a licking of damage from Slash, and I mean, thank goodness he's a doc, as he'll just heal himself right back up.
Eclipse actually narrowly missing out on a kill there. Canadian is technically exposed right now, behind some soft cover waiting for the pressure to come. It's got good control for the attackers over in that position by the south lobby. But Rogue don't really have any distinct idea here. Nothing that seems to be formulating into a push right this minute. They are setting themselves up on side entrance, but that is so dangerous. You leave yourself open to too many counters. The gas canisters are easily targeted onto the default plant spot by side entrance. More importantly, you still have those maestros in play, and there's a lot of guns just pointing in that general direction. You can see the pressure looking to come upstairs as well. There are no defenders in Hookah right now. Young's going to eat a lot of damage from the firebolt. Canadian pushing into South Lobby will be dispatched by Eclipse. So that's a lot of control that Rogue just established. Last 30 seconds of the round. Rogue need to make a push, and here comes the smoke. Shuttle pushing upstairs as well. Young will take down Super. And you can see they still have good control. Evil Genius is in the site. Eclipse pushing to small bar, but he doesn't have a lot going in his favor as BC executes him. Slashug will get BC, but a low HP Young and a high HP MVK is going to be able to secure this round. Evil Geniuses will take it on the first defense of the second half.
And NVK there responsible for so much of that, along with BC, a joint effort between the two of them. And nice to see the way that rotate happened too. Having that top-down view is actually incredibly important for us to be able to see exactly what happened enough. Really a full view of that execute. So being able to just, the way the push came in through the sunrise bar right into the smoke, and the way that BC was there to just mow them right down. NVK falls way off and then comes back around. A really nice way of tying it all together. So,
yeah.
Anywho, we'll come back to us for just a couple minutes here, and EG's going to take their first defense on a site that we're not used to seeing the defenders win, and they're only 1 round away from securing a tie, which, given the drubbing that they got in Montreal at the hands of Rogue, that's a pretty big accomplishment, even just a tie, I think, given the circumstances they're in with the new addition of Geo.
Now, the question I think is lingering in the air right now is EG back to the way of just winning against Rogue? Because as you talked about, the win that Rogue managed to get against Evil Geniuses in Montreal was one in quite a lot, and it had been a while since Rogue had managed to beat Evil Geniuses. In fact, both teams' names I think were different the last time that happened.
Well, there's the seeding match.
Yeah, so technically the seeding match, but I mean, outside of the seeding match, like in the actual regular season, but it's been a while. So. That transition might be going back in turn. Evil Geniuses seem pretty strong right now, and they're in a good position to just manage to get that win. One more round, as you said, they secure the tie, if nothing else.
Yeah, so we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with EG versus Rogue. EG right now with the lead. We'll see if that holds through just after this side switch. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo.
Welcome back, everybody, to our EG versus Rogue match. This is going to be our third match of the day. We still have Space Station Gaming versus Noble coming up next, but we are halfway through this matchup between EG and Rogue, with EG currently up 4-2 on Coastline, and it's been an intriguing one so far.
Yeah, we've got some exciting rounds yet to come. The Evil Geniuses, of course, will be stuck on that defense for the remainder of the match, and we should be loading in very shortly. So we've had, of course, some small technical difficulties, but hopefully they've been resolved, and we can get back into the actual action.
So EG taking the first round of their defense. They're going to go to Kitchen for their second round here. And as we always say, with Kitchen, typically the one site that you're going to anticipate that EG is going to walk, or any defending team is going to walk away with. Keep in mind they're only 1 point away from securing a draw against Rogue, which, given Rogue's crushing victory against EG the other day at DreamHack Montreal, that would be probably a win for Evil Geniuses. It also, even if Rogue wins this one outright, they would only tie SK atop the standings for the time being, whereas if EG were to win this, I believe, based on the numbers that we saw during the break, they would be able to vault over Rogue for second place.
You know, it is actually incredibly jarring that these teams played against each other just a couple days ago. You know, you go to a LAN event, you play your match, and then you fly home, and then you're playing matches again, almost immediately. So much going on in the world of esports for Rainbow Six, and Evil Geniuses now in a good position. They've transitioned to the online platform. They'll be setting up a defense, like you said, in the kitchen. And they've got a pretty basic hold going on here. You can see BC's probably going to be opening up that wall shortly with his Bailiff. Standard and counter plants where you've got the indirect denial from the Maestro and the Echo. You've got Young also on the smoke. Young and Slash, if I'm not mistaken, have been the two, I think, standouts so far in this match, where Slash has been doing a lot of damage with his shotgun, and Young has been doing a lot of damage on his Blackbeard. Now that we see the transition to attack for Rogue, they haven't been playing as much Blackbeard. They did play Blackbeard in the first round. It didn't really work out for them so well, and now they're going to be instead bringing in Ash.
And we'll see how well that works. Slash on Ash is he's a pretty formidable player, and Slash often ends up, you know, the funny part is that we've talked so much about easily on Rogue. We've talked about the newest editions of both Super and Shuttle, but Slash has just been so consistent in North America for so long. It's such a great player, a smart player, good decision making, great aim. Overall, someone who often flies under the radar. He went from being known as one of the best to now somebody who's kind of been overshadowed. And here we go as the you can hear the starting gun go off, as this is good coordination, but don't know if they'll be able to secure the kill on NVK. There you go. It'll be easily who'll get him, as it was a joint effort. Multiple players on Rogue all trying to hunt down Nathan Valenti, and they'll finally get him, as inside of Aqua, the Jaeger is not able to roam that far.
Didn't really waste that much time either, unfortunately for EG. But fortunately for Rogue, they're going to now be able to put a copious amount of pressure onto the VIP, which seems to be a big point of this hold for Evil Geniuses. As you can see, I believe that's Geo has had to fall all the way back to the hallway and is waiting for the inevitable push from Rogue, but it's actually going to be a bit of a sidestep here for Easily. Instead of going towards VIP Trophy hallway, he's just going to move into luggage and start pushing towards the main lobby. He's got some good potential flank going on here if he just comes down the main lobby stairs, but there's almost certainly somebody from Evil Geniuses in a position to stop him. Meanwhile, the players over by VIP, or the player, the individual, which is Geo, is kind of cornered at this point. He's got the control he needs, but ooh, really bad timing there for Easily. He lets Geo maneuver his way out, and here comes the drone. Finally, the information for Rogue, but it's too late. Geo now able to situate himself well. Slash will take down Young, so that's 2 now for Rogue and a 3rd as Shuttle takes out Geo, the rumor upstairs. Canadian will get Slash as he pushes in. Eclipse will respond almost immediately. BC now the final defender against 4, and what a shot from Eclipse to finish things out.
Good coordination there. It actually looked like BC got hit with a Zofia concussive mine right away. Yeah, there you go. So bright that there's that brief window of flare that goes off when the mine detonates and it completely blinds you, and Rogue will get one step closer to tying it up and actually take the site where you'd expect the defense to have won. I wouldn't be too surprised to see EG go back to Kitchen, and that looks to be where they're going to go. Took Rogue 2 cracks at it to get the Kitchen victory. But we'll just march on right now. Both these teams using Lion well to their effect. It's funny because Rogue was a team that for the start of Lion's reign of terror, where he was seen as almost 100% pick rate, Rogue was one of the few teams in the entire world that actually wasn't running him every single round. But we've seen some pickup from that over Rogue over the last little while.
They've certainly been making better use of him, and we saw the same thing happening for Evil Geniuses in the first half. I have to commend Rogue for their push onto the top floor. They did a lot of damage to that vertical pressure that Geo was trying to apply. And they did not kill Geo as quickly as they could have, but they did manage to make it work in the end. Also, that NVK being dispatched over an aquarium so easily halfway through the round was definitely a large help for Rogue as they made their push upstairs. Evil Geniuses now going, as you predicted, back to the kitchen. So they're going to try and make this work where it didn't in the past. However, there are some things that Rogue used in the previous round that are pretty easily read from Evil Geniuses, and the adjustments that need to be made are not that many. So, see if they're able to make those adjustments.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things that fell apart there was, number one, NVK's very disjointed roam. Disjointed roams on Clubhouse seem to be in vogue right now, especially with SK. You saw Jarvis getting pinned down a number of times on Coastline just this past weekend, where he would be solo roaming as Vigil. He'd get hunted down inside of Theater, and then he would be fallen off, or, you know, he'd be taken out of action, and he wouldn't be able to fall off fast enough. Same thing with NVK playing up top. As you can see right now, both Geo as well as NVK are sitting above. NVK positioned where that ceramic pot usually is, in the hallway just outside of Theater. He's actually going to be joined by Canadian, so there's going to be 3 members of EG who are going to try to take control up top, and it's going to leave Rogue with, if they can read this right and they can get a push on that site, they can possibly take the site and have to force EG to try to fight from above looking down. That can be a tough prospect for them. It's going to leave also BC and Young to do a lot of heavy lifting on the site, and if you lose one of those two in the next probably 20 to 40 seconds, it's going to mean EG is going to need to rotate back, and Rogue can be there to catch them.
Slow clear here from Rogue, as opposed to the previous round, and a lot of it horizontal also, opposed to the previous round. You can see that Evil Geniuses is playing pretty heavily on their roam, not investing a whole lot in the anchors, which, as he said, could potentially do a lot of damage later. But at least immediately in this round, you can see as the attackers make contact with the site, they don't really feel a lot of pressure on their push. They've got a lot of information over by the bathroom and mainly by the Sunrise Bar, and they're able to discern that, yes, indeed, we can make a push with relative ease.
And now Shuttle's going to go with the Lion. This is exactly what happens, that we find Rogue times this so well. Their coordination last round was particularly on point. And Shuttle will survey the hole from above, but it's a nice bait as Canadian inside a courtyard is able to get the first kill. The Zofia down, and the Zofia was so instrumental in the way that Rogue was able to push last time that you're going to need to rely on a little bit of difference this time. The Valkyrie of Canadian, that gun not known to deal that much damage, but Slash is there and will get spotted. Now taking out the IQ as well. You still got the Capitao and one more Lion from Super available to them, and the fragging potential of the Hibana. So not all is lost from Rogue.
That was a great play from Canadian, dropping from luggage hallway and getting that double kill. He really shouldn't have gotten the second one, and he's not going to get the third, as Easily finally finishes him off. Oh, that's some interesting miscommunication from Easily and Eclipse. It may not look like much, but the fact that he did not anticipate his teammate being there means there's some information being lost in the Rogue unit. Now, Evil Geniuses have the best possible position they could ever want. 20 seconds left, man advantage, a lit enemy, and all they need to do is just wait a little bit. but Easley's going to get another one, and a third for Easley. BC will shut down Eclipse, but Easley, the Habana, absolutely on fire right now, as Super takes a lot of damage from Young's SMG-11. Young and BC, the final 2 kills. Rogue will go down, and we have a confirmed, if nothing else, tie for Evil Geniuses, potentially still a win.
They'll get 1 point, which will bump them above Space Station Gaming in the standings and move them into third, at least for the time being. Yeah, it'll move them into third because they were technically sitting tied for third, but Space Station Gaming had the tiebreaker between them. We'll see SSG in action in our next matchup against Noble. It was a nice rivalry between these teams. We've seen Noble and SSG compete quite a bit against each other, and I think that rivalry really flies under the radar between these two teams. Very similar styles of play, similar colors. They competed at DreamHack Austin against one another, and it was quite an exciting showdown on 2 separate occasions.
I think SSG and Noble both could be hailed as the up-and-comers in North America, and the rivalry is born of that, because they're both trying to vie their way into the the forefront of the meta and the top of North America, and they're not there yet. They're getting there quite rapidly, but they're doing it at the same time, so they can butt shoulders a little bit as they start to climb that ladder.
Butt shoulders.
Defenders,
Is that
protect your
thing?
bombs from
Bump
being defused by
shoulders.
attackers.
Bump shoulders.
You butt heads. Do you know what you did, Michael?
You know what, Parker? I
You
did that a
mashed
lot.
the idioms again,
I
Michael.
mashed the idioms a lot, Parker. It's just it's my thing.
You mashed the idioms.
I don't necessarily do it deliberately, but it does happen a lot. I'm just embracing it at this point.
That's okay. You're a great masher. You mash them well. Match point in favor of Evil Geniuses. Rogue looking
Are we
to
still
try
doing
and-
phrasing?
10
I
seconds
dig a
left
good
before
Archer
insertion.
reference. I always do. I always do.
5 seconds to insertion.
Evil Geniuses on match point. As you said very correctly, they're going to walk away with at
Attackers
least
recovered the bomb
1
diffuser.
point.
Attackers'
Which is good.
objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
A draw for EG at minimum is, I think, beating expectations that a lot of the community may have for them. Now, obviously, I think EG's expectation is to probably win every single game, even after Rogue were able to beat them in Montreal. EG said that this was a change for the future. Now, obviously, Rogue's was a change for the future, but Rogue looked much better than EG by quite a bit.
I mean, that was in the short term. We're talking, very, very close to the roster changes. That's when they were playing against each other. And I think that Evil Geniuses just needed a little bit more time. And sure, they haven't had a whole lot more since then. But every little hour means something, I think, in this situation. And in the very short term, Rogue had the advantage in terms of, I think their roster came together a lot more naturally. And they made that fragger power work for them, from Shuttle especially. Now, this also has to do with the map we're playing on. Right now, Coastline is it's a very particular map where it just kind of favors one type of playstyle, and that is the loose, the open, and the aggressive. And Evil Geniuses have been seemingly got a handle on that right now.
Yeah. Whether Rogue will be able to finish this out. Rogue runs almost an identical lineup every single time that we see them play on Coastline. The Capitao is so important to the actual way they play, as the same with the Zofia. And we've only gone halfway through this round here. It doesn't seem like it's been quite that long. Slash positioned on Cool Vibe stairs, just watching. But as I was going to touch upon, as I stutter really hard there, the utility that's brought from Rogue is usually quite high on this map. Rogue is a team that will be able to accomplish fragging no matter who they're running.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter at all. And speaking of fragging, they're trying to figure out where the yokai is, and Slash is having a great degree of difficulty trying to trying to get the yokai. As there's a breaching charge set down. IQ of course doesn't have her frag grenades anymore, so you got a claymore available to her. I don't know if the smoke of Young knows at all, but Young is very vulnerable right now. He's gonna go hunting for this IQ, and I think Slash understands that a shotgun, even through those grates, could possibly be lethal. But the red dot sight as well will give his position away as the reticle shows itself on the wall, and Slash is able to get the very first kill. But it's going to come with 30 seconds in. or 30 seconds left. These late pushes, as we saw in the Mouse Cloud9 game, can be to the detriment of the attackers. That means that Rogue will need to try to make up for lost time. They are flirting with the edge of the site at the moment. As we rode along with BC there, he's got the ult out, and this is going to be very similar to what we saw last time around. Easily will grow that lead for Rogue, and Shuttle will jump in, but BC will get easily, and he's in a powerful position. He'll get another. Shuttle's down, but won't see Slash as he pushes in the Yokai. Will need to stop the plant in its tracks, and there you have it. Evil Genius is stopping it with the Yokai, that mechanical menace, able to knock Rogue out of the plant, and man, EG will take the victory 6-3.
Well done there to Troy, managing to almost single-handedly hold out there. It looked like it was going to be a victory for Rogue. They had the collapse going, they had the plant going, but it was so late in the round again. We've been seeing that a lot lately, just some really slow attacks. And because of that delay, Canadian was able to stay safe and deny the plant in the dying seconds.